Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Today I'm joined by this group of nerds and we're going to play Ingest Quest, led by our guide, Nerditor Doug. I'm going to hand it back to you.
All right, so yeah, the Ingest Quest crew hung around Gartania after delivering the Prime Ghost Pepper Seed to Fitzroy and interceding in royal matters. It's sort of like a knight. I just thought of this before we went on. I'm going to call it a castleoid. It's a planetoid that's a giant castle. And they are hanging around while all sorts of coronation festivities are going around. But at the present, our quest begins this week inside of Dr. Christopher's mansion, following the events of last week, where Wolfgang is quite flusteringly, welcoming you all inside and just he's just beside himself with the awful experience you just had with his distant kin, and he asks you what has just happened, and he starts with his master, Dr. Christopher.
Oh, Wolfgang, it's fine. It's fine. We definitely ended up killing a goddess, I think. She was definitely a bad mother. We'll say that. She was trying to force her daughter to marry someone she didn't want to, but then apparently, I guess, she's also set up to marry someone she doesn't want to here, which is the king, because she just wants to be with Lunar Night. Her name is Starlight Night. And oh my, I feel so bad for the poor dear. Honestly, the situation kind of resembles a little bit of the lack of choice in the GIF society, don't you think, Erlon?
It absolutely does. Although we did kill her, but she got better. So there's that. And it turns out she's also kind of a captive herself. So, but I mean, not that it makes it right for her to inflict that upon her creation. Not necessarily her daughter, but yeah. And this place has been strange. We've met all kinds of weird characters, including giants who were like scooping water or something, or holding the water back. I don't know what they were doing.
Maybe
it was
Dan,
suspicious.
Yes, she was, yeah.
Whatever it was very suspicious. But I think like the key points the doctor kind of covered. Fitzroy's here too, working on the coronation feast.
Oh, that doesn't sound quite as dreadful. What about you two? Are you okay? How's your experience been?
There's so many people here that I want to kick the butts of. I just want to web them into their chairs and make them talk to each other until they solve their problems. And everybody here has these weird heads. Like they all look like something that shouldn't be a head.
Well, the doctor's no stranger to strange creatures, isn't that right?
True. Yes, Gartania is known for its colorful people.
With the weird oddities, it's something to kind of get used to. I think to have to drink tea out of someone's head. I mean, is that a form of cannibalism? Is that that aspect was definitely hard to take in. But moving on, beyond that, now we're talking about trying to put together some kind of dinner party and maybe try to find a new match for the king if this person wants to marry Lunar Night instead.
Oh, well, that sounds right up your alley, Dr. Christopher. And Wolfgang sort of seems to be calmed down now that he sees that you're all okay, and he's just like, it's just dreadful. What I'm ashamed to be distantly related to those mongrels. Just dreadful.
And truth be told, I'm also kind of excited to be here because if we have a dinner party, maybe we can invite Camp Night. Maybe instead of having to go find him out there somewhere in the middle of nowhere, he could come to the party and I can talk to him there.
Well, that's all very good. Speaking of tea, it's almost it's just time for Miss Bethany's tea. Excuse me, I was just heading down there. He has gets a tray with a tea set on it.
Actually, Wolfgang, honey,
Yes.
why don't you take a break for 10 minutes or so. I'm sure Erlon could handle taking that tea down.
Oh, well, there is always plenty to do around here. If you don't mind.
I'd be more than happy to help you out. Dust myself off, straighten my tuxedo.
He gets out like a feather duster and is helping you straighten it up as well.
After he gets done, I feel like I'm going to need a lint roller. If he sheds anything like my dog does. So I'll take the tea down the basement.
So you descend those familiar stairs and come upon this big black lake where Bethany the Kraken has already sort of, beached herself, and there's like a little table arranged there, and she's sort of, her many eyes look over as you're coming down the stairs, and you hear, like a kind of a amused chuckles just sort of like echo throughout the chamber. And it's been, let's see, I'm trying to think in game time. Well, we could sort of pass a lot of time, so it's probably been a while. So she sort of reaches a tentacle out towards you to welcome you to the table. It's like, I believe she has the voice of Angela Lansbury. We decided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't really know what she sounds like, but I'll do my best.
Murder, She Wrote?
Yes.
British lady.
Yeah.
Oh, Master Erlon, it's been so long since I've seen you.
Too long. Unfortunately, Bethany, Mistress Bethany, the events that have been unfolding have kept me quite busy.
Well, do tell.
There's been much turmoil and
tally-ho.
Chaos. I mean, that ghastly Gorgon Ramsay trying to disrupt the coronation and steal a man-of-war from the ghost shipyard. We had to rescue the ghost peppers, and we transplanted a seed, which I don't quite understand, but I think now ghost elves are going to be living in the ghost kitchen as well, or they're going to be customers. I don't really know how that works, but everyone seems pleased as punch with the arrangements, and that's all that matters. Fitzroy is a good fella, and he's got his ghost peppers, and the coronation's going on. Although maybe there's a wedding to come soon, and I don't think the lass really wants to get married to the king.
These honor-bound noble folk, they like to have their titles and arranged marriages and all of that.
Oh, maybe you could come out of retirement one last time.
Oh, she sort of like chuckles and
disrupt one final civilization, and then Starlight Knight can take off with the Lunar Knight, and the king will be busy putting his kingdom back together. I don't know. That might be a bit extreme, though.
She's like, well, unfortunately, I am bound by many ancient sorts of seals and oaths and things, and it's only by Dr. Christopher's good graces that I'm allowed to live down here. It's funny that you mentioned Gorgon Ramsay. Little known fact, there's a mistaken myth out there that one of his ancestors was used in a scheme to stop me from doing what I do best back in the day, but some foolish hero or another slew one of his ancestors, and she's like, I snatched that boy right up and ate him and the head with him.
I would expect no less. What if can we get around the formalities if someone yells release the Kraken?
She's like, oh, those are words I haven't heard in millennia.
But no, I think you're retired.
Is that a fade to black moment?
I think it's best that you left in retirement.
Do you share any of the tea that you get from Kettle? Was it Kettle Knight?
If that's what I have on me, sure, I would definitely share that. And kind of tell her all about Kettle Knight. Everyone could do with a good Kettle Knight.
Well, she is amused by these this culture, but she's familiar with this is an old-timey planet that's been around, just generations and generations. So she's kind of familiar and kind of explains a bit about like how their culture is. It's just, like I said, a lot of lords and ladies and knights, and everybody's got like strange specialties and things like that.
Yeah, I kind of I'll spend some time kind of commiserating about it because it kind of does remind me of the protocols that the GIF all use, and they're such sticklers for that kind of thing. And
But you're your own GIF. I admire that.
Well, thank you. I mean, if it wasn't for Christopher and the rest of the crew, I might still not be being my own GIF. And with that, I'll just kind of like fill her in on everything and spend some time hanging out.
Sure.
And we don't have to spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, back up on the top floor. What are the rest of you doing in your mansion? Orla mentioned something about planning a party. What do you got in mind?
Sometimes young love requires a gentle nudge. Sorry about that. So Sir Koss, just out of curiosity, do you have any ideas about how to solve this problem? I mean, clearly just kidnapping everyone and forcing them into a room to like actually talk is probably the best idea, but there's probably like a dozen laws that would be broken in the process, and I'm not entirely sure. I know that the GIF already don't like you. Uralu, how familiar are you with foreign policy?
Unless a TV show about it, probably not. I mean, we could always just ask questions and, gather the information from the people who live here. I would imagine that if we kind of allude to the fact of what we want to do, these people have been pretty nice. I'm sure that they'd be more than happy to help us.
Well, my people have a tendency to understand the meaning of, rather than going out and hunting them and dragging them back, just luring them into the web and keeping them there that way. So perhaps we put out something that they want and draw them forward, and then we close the doors and make them talk to each other.
Well, who doesn't like to go to a party? I mean, that's what we were already kind of...
Yes, precisely.
If you just say, hey, free food and mingle, 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 and then we, gather the intel of, the upper tier candidates in direction, and you did pie the king. Hey, what do you think about here? Have a conversation. Yes, no. If it's a no, you drop them, take them somewhere else, bring on the next one.
My understanding is this person is a fairly powerful one, so it probably won't even require food, but that is what we do best.
I mean, you got to have food at a party. I mean, it's not a party without food.
No, it certainly isn't.
I mean, it's like, I guess at best you could call it a gathering. Or at worst, a meeting. Ugh. That word's boring.
What was that old show from like the 70s where was it the Match Game or Love Connection, where there's like three people on the other side of a screen, and so like that's what I'm envisioning right now is going to happen.
Oh my god, yes.
But why couldn't we do that?
I can make the screen.
Sir Koss, we could gather 3 people who the king would adore and who would adore him in return. And we could then have the king sit on one side of an opaque barrier and they could ask them questions.
That is a fantastic idea.
Wait, no, actually, maybe we should ask the questions to guide them so that nothing untoward happens. I mean, there are royals here after all. They like stabbing knives in people's backs and whatnot.
That is absolutely
well, I
fair.
will say if we're involved, something untoward is going to happen. Just saying. I mean,
well, nothing too untoward. We'll make sure that nobody gets anything hacked off that won't grow back.
Okay.
Dr. Christopher, right. What other sorts of entities live in your house, in your mansion?
I imagine basically as much of a swath of the classic monster movie A-list and B-list you're willing to let me have.
Sure, just pick one.
Okay.
Frankenstein's monster.
Sure, Frankenstein's monster.
All right. There is a. What do you think? What do they look like? Is it a?
Flesh golem.
This person is
No, yeah, I figured that, but like,
this person is probably non-binary because they have pieces from multiple different people. And
Okay.
I would imagine that they probably have like, they're probably very tall and skinny with like one arm significantly longer than the other and like draping curtains of straight black hair that almost falls like rain. And like this greenish tinge to all of the different skin colors that they possess. And they probably wear a very nice long shirt, like, you know, that K-pop star style.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And
what's their name?
Lee.
Lee. All right. Lee is just off in another side room, like near you, like watching TV or reading or whatever, and just sort of like absentmindedly over the back of their shoulders, just like, there's plenty of eligible bachelors in Gartania. She's like, I know all about them. They're like, she's basically, or they basically like, Lee is sort of like a celebrity fan person. So they know all about
Probably.
like, yeah,
bachelors or
eligible
bachelorettes?
bachelors. Well, she's like, the lead says that King Knight is definitely a just a masculine, looking for a queen, macho knight.
Right. So would we need bachelors or would we need bachelorettes?
Oh,
Or do we
bachelorette.
need otherwise? Because, do we know which way the king swings?
Well, I mean, he liked her.
Yes. Okay. So
I mean,
ladies,
that's what I have to go with.
Lee's like too.
Starlight Night. Oh, we rescued a poor deer that was fated to both marry the king and also be carried off to the Vidani Empire. It was not a pleasant experience. Her mother was not a great person.
Lee gets up and is like, not really focused on you now. It's just like, oh my gods, are you saying that Starlight Knight isn't with King Knight anymore?
Well, technically they're still together, but she wants to be with Lunar Knight, and we're trying to make that happen.
I might
Yes,
be the
and
first
if
person
you
to
read
know
the
about
book-
this.
Are you
If
saying you would like
are-
to be behind the screen?
What's that?
Are
Oh,
you saying
no.
you would like? Oh, okay. Just gonna put forth some names
She's
for
like,
us
you know
to
how
go
much
and gather.
juice this is going to be on Hark? And she's like, just scrambles for her little Hark device.
I am
what-
absolutely going to try to
the
swipe
what?
that from them.
Okay.
Do I need to make a roll?
No, you do. They're
Okay.
just your housemates. House
Nobody can know about this until after the party tonight.
Yeah, like we've got to talk to the king first and kind of make sure he's on board with this so that like we can all move forward, because like if he's going to put his foot down, we gotta do the major talking to and make him see how things are going to go or how they should go, so their choice.
Oh, Lee's like, oh, well, I mean, he's definitely going to be at the King's, at the night tourney. Should be supposed to commence today. All of the best knights are going to be there.
Oh.
Well, then it
It's
sounds
like,
we got
which
to go.
means all the best bachelorette knights might be there as well.
That sounds like a good
Lee
idea.
knows
You know
all
what?
about all these people.
Let me go get Erlan real quick. And I call down the stairs. Erlan, I'm so sorry to interrupt your hot date. But
We'll say it's been a while, it's been like an hour or so.
oh, okay.
Not like real time of us talking. Maybe 2 hours.
We need to talk plans.
Well, I bid you farewell, lady, until the next time I may return, but it appears duty calls.
Sally forth. Go get him.
And
And
I
thank you
will
for the tea. It was wonderful.
reach
Dr.
into
Christopher's a kind man, but his stores of tea are pretty old and dusty.
yeah, he's more into like cupcakes and such. I will reach into my spy sash and pull out a pressed flower and leave it with Bethany.
Oh,
It is a black orchid.
If a Kraken could blush, she does.
And I will return to the rest of the group.
Okay.
I feel like Urulu probably has the insight about what color she'd be.
Yeah, there you go. Sort of a similar, yeah, I like that. We'll make that canon now. Creatures from the sea that can display their emotional state by color.
Sure. So she's sad.
What's that?
You're saying she's sad at the departure?
I would say she's very pleased by the time with Ularn.
Oh, okay. Well, then, happiness and joy is purple.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she's normally like a dark blue, but it sort of like gets a deep purple coloration, which you probably would know from Urlu if you'd surmise that. So anyways.
So Erlon, this is Lee. Lee, this is Erlon and Sir Koss and Urulu.
Hi.
Lee is kind of on the up and up about all the celebrity hot goss, So, honey, go ahead.
Lee, of course, is chewing gum too when they talk.
Oh, I love it.
Sorry to cut you off, Steven.
Oh no, you're good. I just told Lee spill that tea.
What do you want to know about the attorney or the eligible bachelorettes?
Yes.
So Lee, we need to know about the anything you can give us. Who do you think would be the best matches for the king that we can try to talk to about getting on this show?
Besides Starlight Knight.
Right. She's like, well, there's Mechanic Knight. She's the lead engineer of King Knight's invention team. She really prefers to create items to make life easier. But King Knight's got her teamed up with Cannon Knight to create war guns.
Oh, that sounds like a terrible choice. We don't want the king to have to compete with any of her inventions.
Okay. She's like, Butcher Knight is the butcher, provides all the meat for a lot of Gartania. Very into careful cultivation of animals. I know you guys are into that, I think, right? Y'all are like...
I mean, butchers have...
conservationist chefs.
Butchers have their own things. Did you understand that they were, actually quite hilarious?
Why is that?
Because they like to ham it up.
Huh.
Spider smirk.
I love that when you do that, me and Darklight Mike are just having a conversation about how we're punny in the chat.
We like puns.
I try to find things to put it in to be timely, and I've been waiting for a butcher reference, and bam, right?
Really? Well, you are the master, man. Butcher Knight has a pet dog named Clat, and she's good friends with Camp Knight. She's really kind of meek. Let's see. There's Botany Knight. Botany Knight is super, got a big attitude. She likes exploring the wilderness, and she's close friends with Kettle Knight.
I would think, Botany Knight sounds, has some similar qualities to Starlight Knight. Nature and outside and what have you. Strong personality. That sounds a lot like what we encountered. So I'm gonna put a plus on that one.
All right. There's Crow Knight. She's a doctor by trade and nature, and is curious about how everything works. She loves the Great Gartania Library.
Now, if I OOC, they were going to try to romance one of these characters, it would probably be that one.
Now, a little unorthodox, but there are some Vodanian ladies on the market. There's River Witch, really super shy and timid, especially when she's away from rivers.
But do you think she'll be able to talk if we put her behind a screen, though? Because nobody will be looking directly at her.
If you could find a way to get like some moving water nearby, probably be better off.
We can set up like a shower head, right?
I mean, couldn't you use your little device to just noise and put that behind her, make her think with water?
Oh, like a sound machine.
Sure. I mean, they do it on the shows all the time.
Put a pin in that one.
There's Lady Draw. She's Gartania's chief portrait and landscape artist. She doesn't really like parties or wars or anything that takes time away from drawing.
Okay, I'm gonna put a negative on that one.
Lady Spatula is the head of the Queen Cake's Royal Guard. She is very honorable and duty bound. And then there's Lady Whisk. She's pretty weird. She's a little bit paranoid, kind of a conspiracy theorist.
Well, if nothing else, I imagine that they'd be fun to talk to.
I don't think we need a conspiracy theorist to have the king's ear.
That is a fair point.
All right, so
Spatula Knight didn't sound bad though,
No.
No.
because she is duty bound, honor bound, right? That's a noble quality for a monarch.
all right, so we got Botany Knight, Lady Spatula, both on the on the top line.
Short list.
Short list. There you go. I don't know what you think about Crow Knight, but I think Crow Knight probably a little bit better than Butcher Knight or Mechanic Knight. But that's
I definitely like the sound of Crow Knight.
all right. So how about we put them in the short list? We talk to them first, and then work our way down the list. If one of them is adamantly against what we're doing,
Sounds like a plan to me.
and
Sounds good.
Botany Knight is friends with Camp Knight, so that's even better for me.
Do you want to start there, Ulu?
Hey, my personal business doesn't necessarily have to take any kind of precedence. I can be patient. I've been on a quest for a long time. I can wait. We got
But we're also a party. Going to a party. Oh, I like that. As a result, though, your quest is our quest. So we'll definitely go see Camp Night first.
Are these knights
But-
competing today?
there's some kind of tournament.
Let's see. Are any of them? No. But Lee will tell you that. Let's see. Crow Knight's brother Obsidian Knight is competing in the
Oh
tournament.
man, what does their head look like? That's got to be fun.
They're probably a real
Let's
blockhead.
see.
I don't know. They might be a real rocker.
Botany Knight. Nope, nothing going on with the tournament and Lady Spatula.
So I imagine that while this is going on, Lee is literally like scrolling through, a device.
Oh yeah. This is like her jam or their jam. Sorry, excuse me.
I mean, Lee likes all pronouns, so any of them work for
okay.
them.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because they literally have.
Yep. Lee goes by
Password.
he, Lee goes by she, Lee goes by they.
Lee goes by Lee. I'm sorry. I'll step out.
I like that. Maybe does Lee talk in the third person? We could do that.
No, it was a pronouns pun.
Joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, I think they talk in this person.
They talk in
Every
I'm done.
Every person. I like
where
Lee.
the lips belong.
Dr. Christopher's mansion is a pretty fun place. Let's
Who knows?
see.
Spelljammer, part 3 is the quest only inside the mansion.
It's like a haunted mansion thing.
Oh my god, we get lost in there and have to Alice in Wonderland our way back out.
Yes.
Wow, if we're going to do a Halloween one shot, that sounds great to me.
And Christopher absolutely is the first one to say, you know what? I know something dreadful is going to happen if we do it. So let's split up, gang.
Well, mark that on your calendar. Halloween class. I'm actually going to write that down.
That is great. I'm all down for this.
Also, actually gonna write that down.
Right.
There's a
so
lot of
we have-
writing going on.
We have three potential candidates for what is that? Is it Love Connection? Whatever it is.
The match game, but I mean,
Yeah.
they
Love
had
Connection was with Chuck Woolery. Anyways. Oh, boy, I should have thought.
Uralu's knowledge of game shows is far superior to Ted's. So
All right. So, what is it? Somebody just make a roll to see how your inquiries to get in touch with Botany Knight go. It seemed like that was your first thing, right? Was that correct?
Who wants to roll it?
What's that?
Who wants to roll it?
How cursed am I feeling today?
Do it. Do it.
Do it, Robin.
Nat 20, not cursed at all.
Hey!
Boom!
Wow, a triumphant success. Not only do you learn that Botany Knight is out camping with Butcher Knight and Camp Knight, because actually Botany Knight was supposed to have been attending some event with her parents, Puddle Witch and Topiary Knight, but she was just like, didn't give a shit.
Topiary night.
She likes exploring the wilderness. Actually, well, since she's close friends with Kettle Knight, we'll say that he informed you thusly. And he also arranges for some horses and stuff for you to use right out to the wilderness. No problem, since you helped him out so well, and he's from a rich family. Kettle Knight Senior is quite wealthy, so he has money to spare. And it's not long before you're out in the wilderness, if that's your intention.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
See,
what is Botany's head like?
Botany Knight's head is a terracotta pot that has like some ferns and things grown on it that are like well coiffed, and is like a sort of bandolier with different size like clipping scissors and shears and things like that, like padded gambeson thing. But yeah, like the terracotta pot actually has like like facial features like eyes and a mouth.
Okay.
Googly eyes.
Yeah. But it's not long. Yeah, you do find their campsite. It's sort of like up on a nice hill. It's a beautiful sunny day, and there's like a tree growing up on the top of the hill. And Botany Knight is there with Butcher Knight, and they've got like a blanket laid out and having lunch. Botany Knight's just sort of like idly like clipping at the grass and things.
You said Botany Knight and Butcher Knight are with Camp Knight?
Camp Knight's not there, just those two
Okay.
you find.
Okay.
Butcher Knight's just sort of got like one of those long curved things with the handle on both. Oh no, that's the leather thing. Hold on. Let me look up Butcher Knight. Of course, has a bloody apron and stuff like that. Of course, just
Who's going to do the talking here?
bloody.
Please don't eat the horses.
I'm being good.
I know, but I also saw that glint in your eye.
I was tempted. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
So who's going
The horse kind of stamps the conversation.
Oh no, I am tracker today. I'm not entirely sure I'm the person who should. I definitely not the person who should, because I know nothing of this sort of thing.
So how about you, Dr. Christopher? You definitely seem to, have a bit of the dating factor going on with, everything with, shall we say, two unnamed individuals having tea by the water?
Sure. Hello there. Christopher McDonough over here. This is Erlan, Urulu, and Sirkas, and our nameless horses. We were wondering, are you Botany Knight? Your fronds are lovely today.
Botany Knight just kind of scoffs and is just like, well, of course they are. Duh. That's my thing. She's like, it looks like your fronds could use a little trim though. And it's almost like sort of like reaching towards you. Not like, like she wants to just like snip like little hairs and things, stray hairs that she sees on your head. Unless he has impeccable thing. But you did just ride a horse quickly.
Oh yes, I definitely rode a horse and my hair is not looking great.
She's like, just sort of like wanting to.
We were wondering if you would want to be part of a game show of sorts, one that we would be running and hosting. Do we have a name for this game show? I whispered to the three of them.
The perfect match.
The perfect match. And it's going to be hosted by, and immediately sees Erlan in the suit. Erlan.
Oh my God.
And the winner
Dream
is
puzzle.
going to get to have a date night with the king. All expenses paid. He looks very like hesitantly at everyone else.
And in the
Well-
background, Circus is like whipping out a notebook and making like financial notes for like how much this is going to cost and doing some budgeting, and just gives a little nod.
Well, we said it's going to be paid. We didn't say by who. Hopefully, the king's got money. I mean, whatever.
Yes.
Did my cousin put you up to this? She just sort of like stares at you for a moment and says that, and then just like laughs. She's like, "Do you get a load of this butcher night?" And just is like looking at you quizzically.
So, what does Butcher Knight say to that?
Butcher Knight's just sort of like real shy, and is just sort of like there cleaning his blades and things, and it's just kind of shrugs like meekly, just like, that's what they said.
It is
Oh.
indeed.
I mean, we're looking to have something that's fun and entertaining. We're not here to jest. Although it might sound that it's comical in nature, is it something that you might be interested in doing?
A matchmaking game. Who's the match with?
The king.
Or is that the mystery?
It's with the king. You would know this, but he won't know who you are. That's the mystery. That's the fun. You're going to be asked a series of questions, answer honestly, and then he picks a winner.
Is this going to be in front of everybody at the night tourney?
We're trying to do it tonight, so it will be after.
Oh yeah,
It's at the
definitely
after
in.
party.
Even better.
So everyone will be slizzard. It will be great.
Excellent.
I know I will be.
Yeah, there's going to be a two drink
Well, I
minimum
have
at least.
one stipulation though.
Oh,
Okay.
I just that the hair is driving me insane.
Yeah, go ahead, do it.
And she just like, and it does, and everybody you do that, like it does look better to everybody. Like, even though you take great pride in it, it's like just that little, not a big chunk, just like just the precise couple of snippets of hair, and it's just that much better.
when I say that Christopher has never looked more like Circus in any capacity.
So after like as she's pulling the snippers, the shears back, Uberlu just kind of like steps in the middle of the two of them. Thank you so much for agreeing to this. We really think this is going to be a really great and grand time. But since we're here, I did have one more question, if you would be so kind.
Shoot, Buster.
I'm trying to get a hold of Camp Night. Do you have any way of allowing that to happen, or know where I might be able to find him at some point in time?
Yeah, we've been with Camp all weekend. She's like, she's he's one of those nightly knights, always, wanting to do valorous things and so forth. She's like, I think Butcher, didn't he go chasing after some giants? And Butcher's like, yeah, I think so.
Is there anything that he's kind of always wanted or been on the lookout for?
Oh, Camp Knight's a renowned giant fighter. Let's see. He likes to be outdoors as much as possible. Butcher Knight, Botany Knight's sort of like listing out these things to you, and Butcher Knight's like, he really just wants to find love. Not even for himself, just true love. See it one time.
Wants to see true love.
But he'd probably get his stupid self killed by giants before that happens.
Well, I mean, those kind of things are out there. But I thank you for.
Oh, Clat is also there, who's a Butcher Knight's dog, and it's just sort of a tan, reddish colored dog. It looks like it's got like.
Is the dog normal?
Yeah, it's just a normal dog.
Okay.
Like a shaggy dog. Clat.
Because it's Butcher Knight's dog, right?
And Botany Knight's sort of like incredulous. She's like, "There's no giants. He's just, whatever." And Butcher Knight's like, "No, I think he said he found evidence of giant activity."
Did we see a giant when we first got here?
Yeah, holding up the dam.
Oh, that's Lady Dam.
I mean, I think she's more like a goddess, right? But
Yeah, she like giants.
Is that 'cause-
giants aren't that big? She's just a giant knight. Or
Is that when is she Lady Damn because you look at her and you go, damn?
Botany Knight laughs at that. She's like, that's one reaction for sure. She is pretty big. Who's her husband?
Okay, well, I guess thank you for your time. I think we're looking to
In case you're curious.
Crow Knight and Spatula. Do you happen to know where they might be?
Hold on one second. Lady Dam is married to Lady Well. All right, sorry. Crow Knight. Crow Knight is probably at the tourney or in the library. Probably, actually, yeah, she'd probably be in the library. She doesn't care about all that stuff. Although, in case anybody gets hurt, she is all about healing people. She's a doctor, whatever.
I mean, I can empathize with that.
it's useful when one gets hurt.
Yes. I just tend to like healing dead things more than living things usually.
You're a doctor?
Oh, yes. After a fashion, I suppose.
Oh.
So you're up for this game show then?
Oh, yeah. Chance to do a one-on-one with
Look
King
over
Knight.
to Seer Cass's notes. Look, it says right here, totally in. Signed and everything.
Okay. Meet us at the after party 10 minutes after you get there. It'll be a big stage. You can't miss it.
There'll be flashing lights and seats and all kinds of fun stuff.
I
Yes.
can't wait.
As we are leaving, I turn to Overlu. Where are we going to get the flashing lights from?
I don't know. We'll find. I mean, doesn't Seer Dr. Christopher know magic?
That I do. And flashing lights, and I will throw up a minor illusion. I can definitely do as well.
Good, because I definitely can't.
Circus has like powerful illusions and stuff, right? Like
Oh
super
yeah, I'll be a
duper.
stage mage tonight. Let's go.
Oh wow, I like that. That's cool.
All right, so we still got 2 more people to talk to. We got attorney to look at, a game show to arrange, and a king to make sure that he's aware that he's not going to marry the person he thought he was going to marry. Let's do it.
We'll need to make sure we get the king in on this too.
Oh, yeah, that would be really helpful.
You're
Ladies
heading
first.
back. You're heading back, or
I mean, she didn't give us any information on Lady Spatula, so we head to the tourney and try to say if.
okay, I didn't know if you were looking for camp night or anything.
I mean, we
That's
got
up to you.
limited
I was just
time
making. I
frame.
didn't want to.
Sure.
We can spare a couple minutes for you to look for camp night.
He'll be at the party tonight. I mean, if he's friends with Botany Knight, and Botany Knight's going to be there, then I'm pretty sure he's going to be there. There's no sense in wasting time when we've got deadlines to meet.
Fair, if that's what you want.
No,
I might be able to help you find him a little quicker, actually.
Well, I mean, to the horse. Overlu just kind of runs and jumps onto the horse.
Okay. I guess that's the nature of the quest, right? It's like even if you
There's always things that are pressing.
Mhm.
Get this close.
Yeah.
You might get there, you might not.
Fair?
I like that. That's cool. Let's see.
All
So we're
right.
heading back to the two. You're looking for Lady Spatula. Who wants to make a roll for that?
Well, I thought we were going to the tourney to look for Crow Knight.
Oh, okay.
Sure, I'll roll. I'm
Sure.
feeling lucky. 12 success.
Okay, yeah, you actually do find where Cronate is at. It's a big tent owned by her parents, Lord Shadow and Lady Ka. That's all like in striped like blue and red, tent. And these tourney grounds are like huge because there's all these different factions with their tents and banners and things. Super crowded. Like just an enormous field where there's you see that there's things set up for like jousting competitions, archery, dueling, and just riding.
And any banners have an octopus as a figurehead?
Yes, I believe that is Lord. Man, you're really putting me to the task.
Sorry.
No. It's a funny one. I'm sorry, Duke Scale.
Duke Scale. All right.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. Wrong one. Lord Cod. That's who it is.
All right. Well, I'll mental note that and conversate later.
Okay. But yeah, you find the tent, but it is guarded, but it has like their royal guard and things outside. And you can see inside a bit, and you see that like it's a large tent, and there's like refreshments and things for like the noble family, and there's like a dais sort of thing in the back of the tent with chairs on it, and there's it looks like just a giant black cloak with like smoke inside and a crown floating in like a shadowy head area above it. And then in the seat next to that is a woman that is just covered in like black feathers, and her head is like a blackbird's head, basically. I mean, it's like a helmet, but that is in the shape of it, like a raven.
So I'll whisper back to Ularn and Dr. Christopher. Why don't I be like your guard? Overlu can kind of be like your point person, and since we're going to talk to somebody who knows about medicine, and you're a doctor, you're seeking an audience, about a couple of things. I mean, look at the way he's dressed. So, a point person, right?
I mean, fair, but I feel like maybe Seer Koss is more their speed, given that she's also vaguely bookish, very magical, and I just a hunch. Don't know why, just have a hunch there.
I will certainly try.
All right, so are we going to have, Ularn introduce you?
He is the host.
Well, I will approach and, give a little bow.
Well, the guards at the tent sort of like cross their spears in front of it.
Like we have to introduce her to the guards seeking audience with, Lady Cronite or Cronite.
Yeah. So you're approaching the tent guards. So
yes.
So you're attempting to talk. Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
Requesting audience for Lady Sirkaz, the most famous Lady Sirkaz, with the Cronite.
Make a roll to see how impressive you are.
A roll, you say?
House of
All right.
Crew.
Tough choice.
Oh, okay. Let me pull up my thing. I like these because they're so bizarre. Where is it?
Civilization dies.
Lose an armor.
That's our
only half damage.
Oh, you're a cast out of the community. Or deal half here. Okay, then I will say for the rest of this session, you'll only deal half damage if anything should come to that, or you'll be cast away from the tent because they don't like.
I'll accept that.
Which one? Those are your choices.
Yeah, if combat comes up, I can only deal half damage.
Okay. So yeah, they sort of like snicker at you, and it demoralizes you a bit. And so, you're just sort of like feeling like, you don't feel like yourself. But nevertheless, they sort of like look you through as an amusement, just sort of like, let's see what this GIF creature thinks, when he's speaking to the Lord of Shadow. And inside, you do get some looks. There's, like noble house people milling about. There's pictures of, refreshments and stuff. But you can approach, you look around and you actually do not see, well, most of the other people just look like peasant knights.
Yeah.
I've kind of figured there's normal people, but they just look like, they still wear armor and everything, but it's just plain plate armor. And brown
Yeah.
armor.
So as I go into the tent, I'll hold the tent flap open.
Okay.
And announcing for the Honorable Lady Sirkas. And hold the flap so that Sirkas may enter.
Damn.
Both you see both Lord. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no. So I will glide into the room and like survey to see like where the person is that I am trying to find, which I believe was Crow Knight.
Mm-hmm. You don't see anybody that is unusual, like that stands out, except for Lord Shadow and Lady Ka, but they both sort of look over, and you see Lady Ka like sort of nod at you, Seercast, and Lord Shadow's sort of beckons you over, and he's like, "It's been long since we've met with any of your people. We are honored. To what do we owe the honor?"
I am actually astonished that you ever have before. I didn't know that any of my people had ever left our planet.
Your folk are well known to me and my wife.
I would actually love to hear about this.
Right now?
It doesn't have to be immediately, but at some point I would certainly love to hear about this. And like you can there's just a moment where you can completely tell that Seercast has been taken absolutely off guard. This does not happen to her super often.
Well, Lady Ka sort of like sees that there's a little bit of awkward. She's like, well, of course it would only be through the wisdom of your people to decide the right place and time. It's as it has counseled us so many times in the past.
Well,
but what brings you here today?
I was hoping for a word with your daughter.
Oh, little Crow. I believe she's in the physician's tent to take care of all these brutes like my son as they bash each other about.
Well, then, with your permission.
Of course. Is there anything I can do? I feel honored that our daughter is of such import.
We are trying to throw a little something together for an after party, and she has come up as a person of interest that might be interested in participating in the latter festivities.
Oh, well, that's delightful. But yes, and she'll point out where the physicians, kind of like point, or actually she'll like snap her fingers and have some like one of the peasant knights come over. The servant knights can guide you there. It's not far.
1,000 thanks, and sure. I'll head on in that direction.
Just like, if it pleases you, our son, the Obsidian Knight, will be performing in the duels this afternoon. We would be honored if you would watch it from our tent.
Oh, that would please me greatly. I am very much looking forward to seeing it.
Oh. They nod, and servant will lead you out of there if you like. Is there anything you want to do while you're in there, Ular?
Nope. We are on a mission.
Okay. So yeah, it's not long before you get to the physician's tent, and it's mostly just banged up knights. There's no like violent injuries or anything, but just a lot of stupid knights that have been, beating each other up in tournament things. And there is a let's see, who looks a lot. Her actual head is similar to Lady Ka's, in that it's like a helm that's shaped like a bird's head, but there actually is like feathers growing out or attached to it, and has like a breastplate and like a smock of black feathers, and has a staff with like a little incense thing hanging off the end, and wearing like a satchel with a bunch of like scrolls and things, but she's just bandaging up. There's actually a knight that looks like a big cauldron, and there's just like a little head sticking out of like a bubbling stew inside. And it's like there's like a big dent in the cauldron. She's just like hammering it out for him.
So
Stew all over her arms.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up. I'm going to start like knitting bandages and like helping whoever's next, by like binding the smaller lacerations and things. And I'm going to be like, we haven't been formally introduced yet, but I am Circas. I was hoping to speak with you about something and perhaps offer you an opportunity for this evening.
Crow Knight sort of like turns around and wipes like Cauldron Knight's soup off her arm, and so it's like on her head and stuff, but and sees that it's you, and sort of like just drops to a knee and it's like, my lady.
It's because you're famous. Hey, do you want me to grab? We have another doctor with us. You looks like you could use a hand in here.
Oh, yeah, these fools just bash each other about all day long. She points over to a knight who's got like all just kind of rusty armor, and like half his greaves are just missing, and there's just like a barefoot under there and stuff. And she's like, Rust Knights gets the worst every time. I don't even know why he shows up to these things.
Well, I'll let you work and you two talk. I will go grab Christopher and be right back.
Thank you. You please rise.
Yes, and Crow Knight does. She's like, just kind of expectant.
Okay, so I'm just going to be very forward with you about what the situation is. For the after party after the festivities this evening, we had thought to put together a game of sorts for His Majesty. We are finding some of the most eligible bachelorettes in the kingdom to sit on the other side of an opaque curtain. All he'll be able to see is the outline of you. He'll be asking questions. Well, we'll be asking questions. And then at the end, not knowing specifically who he's been talking to, he'll pick one to take on a date. Expenses paid, of course. If that's something you would be interested in participating in as one of the ladies behind the curtain, as it were.
Did you mention that it was King Knight? I'm sorry, I didn't get
Yes.
No. She's like, sort of like just grabs your arm and she's like, Milady, are you saying that my brother's friend is not going to be marrying King Knight?
We know that she doesn't want to, and this is an effort
I know she doesn't want to. I've been telling Lunar Knight for years to give me a good word with King Knight.
Oh, well then yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, she like kind of blushes through her armor. She's like, who else are the contestants?
Well, I believe
Who
we've
do I have to defeat?
Who was the other person that we'd gotten so far? It was Botany Night.
Oh, you don't want
Oh, we don't want to tell her.
Well,
This is me asking out of character. Circas would definitely remember.
Out of character, yes, would be Botany Night, but like as you start to talk, like it's part of the game. Don't know.
Okay.
Or not only does the primary but the contestants don't know who they're competing against.
We'll say you just say like "buh," and then
Yeah. I can, however, tell you that the other person that we've approached about this was quite unpleasant.
But interested.
She's like nods kind of sagely, and she's like, I think I understand. She's like kind of looks at the knights and they're still hanging around, and she's like, you lot take care of yourselves, I've got research to do.
So are you in?
Of course.
Excellent.
You said 10 minutes after the after party, so it's the after party.
Well, I mean, it's
And after the party, it's the hotel lobby. Then roundabout 4, it's time. Never mind.
Look for the flashing light.
That's too hip for you guys. Look for the flashing light. She sort of like nods and winks, like, I understand. And sort of like, she's like, Milady, if there's nothing else.
No, of course not.
Got to get to the library. And
Thank you
just
for your
sort of
time.
like, yes. And you are alone, and there's sort of just like groaning knights sort of Oh yeah, you go over to Rust Knight. He's just sort of like hanging off the side of a cat. Like I said, just there's like a little pile of rust shavings, and see that is like a rusty sword and a rusty scabbard leaned up against the cat. Let's see.
So, Rust Knight, have any clue where you might wear one spatula?
Lady Spatula?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Well, if I know her, she's doing her duty watching over Lady Whisk.
Would that be in the kitchens?
Lady Whisk. Who knows? She disappears all the time, always frightened of some plot against her or another weirdo. Is Lady Whisk on Nope, those are different people. Commission to work with Fitzroy. He would say, he's like, yeah, probably, she probably would be in the kitchen because she's the head of Queen Cake's Royal Guard. So,
Okay, well, then I think that's where we should go to.
who wants to make a roll to see how getting your way there goes?
I'll give this one a shot. Hopefully,
Okay.
I already botched the roll.
Did you?
Well,
Oh,
tough
but-
choice. Not
You-
really.
you got tough choice. I got a failure. That's a 4.
Oh,
I'm rolling not my dice. I bought dice specifically for this game and I can't find them. I've been trying to.
4, huh? Is that a tough choice?
No, that's a failure.
Oh, it's just a failure?
2 through 5 is fail.
All right, let's see. We'll say you wind up. You're sort of asking around as you go and so forth. And you wind up in what is like the total opposite of the bakery. Like you're starting to think as you hear like hammering and like, and like, just like pounding iron and stuff. And there's like a big sort of warehouse, big room thing. And there's all sort of like chains hanging from the ceiling and metal things. And at the far end of it, there's a knight with like one of those welder helmets on, and just like has like a big workshop and is sort of just like hammering and like
I'm mechanic
welding
knight.
things.
But certainly,
Super loud in here. And there's like a little like a clock, like automaton, sort of like mini clockwork helpers, like sort of like moving things around, straightening up shelves and stuff like that, pulling on chains to move things up. But yeah, it doesn't know, it's like just a lot going on. You can walk in, no problem. But Mechanic Knight, as you have surmised, is busy at her.
do we backtrack and let somebody else try and find their way to the kitchen? Because this is clearly not kitchens. I mean, it's not like food.
Is there anyone that looks like they might be an interesting substitution in here?
Well, Mechanic Knight was an eligible bachelorette. As you're standing there too, there's like a loud boom from like so it's like one of those big rooms, but there's like stairs going up to one of those walkways around. There's like rooms off to the side, and you see like a big cannonball just come out of one of the walls and like splinter the wood, and then just kind of like drops to the ground, and you hear like yeah. And like Mechanic Knight sort of like looks up and at
I
that.
kind of knight.
Yeah, you see, actually like emerging from the hole. Looks like basically like a cannon barrel, like the sort of curved thing, with legs coming out of the bottom where the cannon thing would be at the top, and arms and legs. And it's got like a big blunderbuss in his hand. It's like, blew a hole right in that wall. Did you see that? It's like, these war guns are gonna be awesome.
That was impressive.
And it sort of looks down, like straightens up, like, oh, and like runs down the stairs to you, and it's just like, oh, a GIF. You guys have the best cannons.
I
It's
definitely,
like, Mechanic Knight, it's a GIF. You think he knows any secrets of cannon warfare?
I definitely pull out Bessie.
it just sort of is like
Which is like just a blunderbuss. And also it's my Spice Weasel.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, which one has the axe on it?
Spice
Bessie?
Weasel.
Oh, Spice Weasel, and then Bessie's just a big blunderbuss.
Yeah, yeah.
He's sort of like looking at it like, may I?
Yeah, sure.
And just sort of like points it up at just a random wall, and it's just like, boom, and just like shoots a big splinters, like a bunch of stairs blow apart and everything. Mechanic Knight's like, what have I told you? Safety first. She's like, why are you just shooting off cannons in here? And she's like, you lad, fix those stairs. And you see like a bunch of those little clockwork assistants go over. And
so who's the one that actually
they sort of like look at her like, we didn't do it, but they go over.
Who's the one that actually took the gun? Was it Mechanic
Knight? Yeah, Mechanic Knight's like, put that down. She's like, there's
there's a Cannon Knight and a Mechanic Knight. Gotcha.
Yes.
I like this one.
He's like, I like this one. And he's like, and he hands you it's like a looks like your Spice Weasel is your Spice Weasel like sort of like a blunderbuss pistol? That's what I meant.
It's a flintlock pistol with with an axe head attached to it.
He hands you, it looks like a pistol with a blunderbuss thing on the end, but like a real big one.
Oh, nice.
And he's sort of like, offering it to you.
I will take a look at it and point it around, then look at Mechanic Knight.
Who's just like,
and
you
not
can't see
shoot
any
it.
eyes, but they're definitely just, if they were.
Yeah, definitely not shooting it, but checking out the site and the action. And
it's
nice.
Really amazing.
I'll slink over to Dr. Christopher and see your cast. I think Ularn likes Mechanic Knight as a choice. Do we want to get to number 3 here and offer, or do we?
No.
So-
He likes Cannon Knight as a choice, but I think Cannon Knight is a he, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's past 9, so it's time for adventure points.
Hey.
Are they
I
action
don't
points?
think any of us have spent any.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Well, I'm gonna give. Well, you can. One time only. We'll say you can have 4 extra ones.
Ooh.
Oh my!
Ooh.
Just because you didn't use any, and.
All right, well,
The GM is feeling
if combat
generous.
happens, I'm gonna blow points like they're crazy.
Yeah, that's what they're there for, man.
We're gonna spend points like it's 1999. That's right.
Erlon might like Cannon Knight, but I like Mechanic Knight.
Mm.
There's clearly a level head on those shoulders. And I kind of love the what are these? Are like out of character, are these like Modron minions?
No, they look like little humanoids. Well, okay, sure, yeah, if that's what you're imagining. I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, they're all just different geometric shapes, but they're little. They're like, maybe like
Oh, they're
1.5
portable.
tall. So like when they go over to fix the stairs, they like sort of what do you call it? Like Tetris each other together to make like bigger things to like push up stuff or like pick things up. Like blocks, and they'll fit together in geometric patterns. I don't know what that means, but I get it in the chat. You get an adventure point. Everybody gets adventure points.
All the adventure points.
But Mechanic Knight sort of just like, wipes her brow and she's like, can I help you? She's like, King Knight wants these war guns, to be worked on, and I don't trust this fool to do it safely. So she's like, I'm very busy.
Understandable.
So what do you guys think?
Maybe we can get her to take a break.
She's like, yeah, I could take a break.
Mechanic Knight, we were trying to get together a game show of sorts with a prize being a date night with King Knight, seeing as Starlight Knight is not super crazy about the arrangement. And, you certainly could use a break, I'm sure, from this, right?
Yeah, I wish we could just stop it all together. What do you need all these guns for? She's like, I'm the best mechanic in the sphere. She's like, I would much rather. She's like, do you know how many cool things I could make to make life easier for Gartanians if I wasn't doing all this?
17.
It's about right. It's 19.
Oh,
I had 19, and she points over, and there's like a board, and it's like top 19 ideas for making life easier on Gartanians.
well, if you look at number 7 and number 13, they're actually really similar.
She like scrutinizes for a moment. She's like, I think you're right, and goes over, and she's like, well, that's a much easier work task now. There's only 18 things.
Why not 20?
Thank you. Well, I don't know. Why not 21 or 22?
Fair.
23?
24. I'm sorry, I just felt left out.
So what do you think there, Mechanic Knight? Would you be interested in taking part in, this kind of fun festivities?
She's like, it would be interesting to get a word in the ear of King Knight.
That's what I was thinking. If you were dating him, you could maybe convince him to build something other than guns.
Like number 11. That's a good one.
That's my favorite one. What is number 11, Ted? What's a mechanical invention that will make life easier?
So it is of these automatons, but delivery service.
Livery service. She's like, yeah, right now we just rely on dirigible knights to do all that. And she's like, they look really great, but I mean, they're not very quick.
But I mean, an expedited process, you'll cut hunger and starvation down if you can just get the food to where it needs to be quickly.
Yeah, absolutely correct. She's like, I'll make that my opener when I'm talking if I win this competition.
You could call them like something.
Call them like what did you say? It cut off for a second.
Call them like food fast.
Food fast. I like it. She's like, I'm in. And hey, if I don't win, a few less hours working on these stupid war guns is up for a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That sounds like we got, we got Mechanic Knight in.
She goes over to a board, and there's like a one of those like there has been this many days, and it says like since taking a break, and it's like hundreds, and she takes it off.
Well, looks like we've got our 3. Now we just have to convince the king to get in on this.
Oh boy.
We're 75% of the way there.
We are.
So we'll deliver the information, like we've told to, the other 2 people of where to go, when to go, what to look for.
Yeah.
We now need to find our way to the king.
When to go,
Well, you know what
terrifying.
that means. That's a roll. Or you could use some of those extra adventure points to spice things up if you want, of how you make your presence known to King Knight, who obviously has the biggest tent. It's not hard to find, but it is, guarded, and you can see him. He's actually, like a bold king. He's super tall. His armor is looks like a physique. It's got like 6-pack and like muscles on the arms.
Are there any kind of guards stationed every so often?
Oh yeah, there's just kind of guards at
right.
each of the different tents and things.
So I'm gonna go to the nearest guard, and I'm gonna actually pull up the power.
Sure.
So I can read exactly what this does. Look at that. It's bookmarked and everything. So I want to adjust what it says here.
Sure. Yeah.
Power of Yelp. Says
Yelp.
You can make a show of bravado to frighten nearby creatures. So any
Okay.
nearby will seek shelter, run away, or attempt to appear non-threatening. So I basically want to boost myself up and convince these people that I'm more than I am, that I should be able to, that we should be able to get audience with the king.
Okay. Are you willing to be pretty ostentatious about it? I mean, you're going to succeed. I don't
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay. So yeah, as you're doing this, there's at the moment there's 2 stages set up, and this King Knight's tent is huge, and there's musicians on either one. There's Glam Knight and Rock Knight, and they're both sort of like battling each other musically because they both think their thing is the best kind of music. Glam Knight's armor has like a fright wig on the top, and it's just like a lot of high-pitched wailing, whereas Rock Knight's has like a rocky armor and has like his guitar slung low, and you can feel the guitar bite in the tent. And people are just raucous in there, and Barrel Knight is in there with King Knight, and they're just getting drunk with other people and rocking.
I imagine that Uralu's tentacles are like kind of vibrating to the rhythm. So they're kind of like, as opposed to hair blowing in the wind, they just kind of like
oh yeah, for like the sound waves and stuff. When you feel that the time is right when the guitar does bite, you make your show of yelp, and everybody in here is like rocking and just rolling and loving it, but all that pales in comparison to the show of just spectacularness
so instead of like
make a spectacle of yourself like in the midst of this crap.
So normally like Uralu squeezes himself smaller to get into places that octopi do, but I'm gonna basically use like the kind of like blowfish tactic.
Okay.
So, I take and appear bigger.
Oh yeah, you do. And I mean, everybody is caught attention. And
does
like
Uralu like dance battle his way in?
if that's what you said, desire, I didn't really think about the specifics, but whatever it is spectacular and impressive to all, including
I
King
really
Knight.
love dance battling to get in.
And you guys are able to just sort of walk in behind him, just by the show force. But like King Knight, sort of like everybody is like, you do your thing, and you're unusual. This is still all nights, and there's like a moment of quiet, and then everybody's just like, yeah, screaming. They want to lift you up, and King Knight strides out, and he's much taller and bigger than everybody too, and like walks right up to you and claps your shoulders like, I like this guy, and just like, everybody starts partying again.
So
he's like, come join me, and you guys actually see that he sort of ushers Uralu up to like a similar how the Shadow and Ka had the thing, but it's much bigger, and there's like huge banners and everything. And he seats you in a seat like right next to his throne base like seat here.
So he's definitely like feeling a little bit of the bravado, kind of fading. So like he's basically calling forth the allies to come over. So like at that moment where the music is down of like, oh, I've got some people that I'd like you to meet, and I'll begin introducing my companions.
Yeah, and he's like, bring them forth, no problem.
Ularn, Dr. Christopher, and Lady Circass.
Perhaps you've heard of us. We rescued Starlight Knight earlier this evening, or this day, or maybe it was yesterday. I'm not sure at the time.
It would have been, I guess, probably yesterday at this point. He's like, oh, what has that silly girl gotten herself into trouble again?
There was a bit of
all day at the nightly tournament where a King Knight should be.
There was a bit of a dust up.
Her mom tried to kidnap her and take her back to Madani's base.
The Dimension Goddess?
Yeah.
That's unusual. Well, and you stopped her?
Yes, we did.
He like raises a flag and is like, to these weirdos.
And we have to these weirdos, I echo. And we have a very special celebration that we would like you to partake in order to honor the occasion and your coronation. And also, I believe this has never, ever in the history of time been done at a king's coronation.
Lay it on me.
What are we calling it, Uralu?
That's a perfect match.
We're going to play. We want you to play in a game called The Perfect Match. And
is there jousting and battle?
Well, this is after the jousting and the battle. It is a jousting of sorts.
I'm intrigued.
Fair maiden knights will verbally joust with each other for the ultimate honor of the kingdom.
I like it.
will be a show of their intellectual and emotional and intestinal fortitude prowess.
Well, anything's got to be better than that scrawny Starlight Knight. I'm a king knight, and I'll be the wall king and later the king of kings. And I need an equally powerful wife.
With that, I will kind of like I want to turn to the doctor Christopher and whisper in his ear, "I could assassinate him right now."
Hold off. I appreciate the sentiment. I really do.
Oh
And sometimes assassinations are fun, but when it comes
the toxic masculinity up in here is out of control.
It is. It is the least it is the least fun of the toxicities.
So while the two of them are conversing, I'll say to the king, so you're okay if Starlight Knight marries somebody else or goes with someone else and you can have a new person? Yeah.
Max Little, I'm a firm believer in a ruling class, mostly because I rule. So whoever sits at my side is, he doesn't not care at all, but
And you exude so much class.
Worthy.
I'm going to swipe 2 glasses off a passing tray and raise them both on the same side and be like, huzzah. I'm like, I am double fisting. I need it right now.
So Overloo doesn't really know how to take all of this in. He's gonna just momentarily kind of flash between white, blue, black, red.
Wow.
He just, and then he'll take a moment and see himself just a solid green. And then it's too much. He goes back to his usual, kind of yellowy orange and just babbles something, doesn't even get any coherent thought before he steps off of the pavilion and walks away.
Well, my liege, you relax here. We'll begin making the preparations. We will come for you when the time is right. And then I guess we'll go off. And as we do, I turn to Dr. Christopher. I think my first plan was much better. I tried convincing Bethany to come out of retirement to destroy one more civilization. And I'm starting to think that was the right plan.
I mean, even if we think that we're right, sometimes people make decisions to not do things for different reasons. I sometimes think it would be better if the world were just covered in spiders all the time, but we can't just make those things because they would make other people happy. But I absolutely admire where your thoughts were coming from. Also, you're very hefty. How about we work together to build this stage? And by work together, I mean I will supervise while you work.
Well, I believe we'll just I'll start moving chairs around and we'll just clear out one of the bands on one of the stages and we'll use that one. Matter of fact, we could probably use both stages maybe.
Yeah, here, let's retro thing real quick. We could say when you were still up there talking to King Knight, he asks you, he's like, which of these musical styles do you think is better? I'll leave it to you, and sort of looks at Urlu since you made the big spectacle, but you can decide among together as a group. But he looks at, he's sort of looking at
I think Urlu would probably glam over rock. It's bigger, it's flashier.
So we got one for glam.
He was a Nelson fan.
Who wasn't? What about Ular? Glam or rock?
Definitely rock.
Okay.
Techno tried to defile the metal. No, okay.
They're both very good at what they do, so it's just
Sirkos would probably lean rock. It's just darker.
More spiders.
Means it's up to Christopher.
Yes.
Christopher likes probably Dark Wave, but that being said, Glam is a bit showier, and so he favors Glam.
Sweet. So I'm gonna make, let's see, a tough choice. And I will roll. Wow, right. He would have. So his King Knight will decide that Glam is the better, and he points over at Rock Knight. He's like, "Uncle, your lands and titles are mine. Get off the stage and give it to these folks." And he points that one, and you see there's a rope knight who has like that tool that rope makers use with like with all the little hooks that they can hang the ropes from. Just sort of like whips that out, and like the guy on the Apollo that sweeps him out, but he just like pulls Rock Knight and his band away.
He got shepherd
Like,
stuff.
and just rocks in.
So who did he bestow their land and titles to?
He
took
didn't
them.
bestow, he took.
From his uncle. They're both his uncles.
Oh, okay. I thought he said, your lands and titles are mine, and I'm going to bestow them to.
No.
What is-
No. He bestowed them to himself, I think.
Yeah. You got yourself staged.
All right. I'll
all
put
right,
some
so-
chairs up there.
All right, so
That's not hard. I mean, you have King Knight's, permission to do this, so you can.
all right, so I'm again gonna look at an off use of my power.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loving it, man.
So if you have time to prepare before a conflict, you can choose when it begins, and then it goes into ambushing and before the action. But like I look at if you've got a plan, things come together much easier. So I want to use for our walk, I want to begin planning for who does what for building what we need to do.
Sure.
And then as I use the overpower to kind of help stir, during the one ingredient, I want to use overpower to basically help move anything big and what have you, so that I can just, kind of power through whatever it is that we need to be able to build what we're building in time for.
Yeah, I love these reinterpretations of the fighter powers. So yeah, that just absolutely.
So-
Basically, it just makes everything go smoother. Is what I got out of it.
That is what I'm hoping you're allowing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
These things.
That's,
So
that's a fightery thing to do. You're disciplined and stuff, even if it's not on the battlefield. You're just like, that worker, if he was helping him, they could go faster. That sort of thing is how I'm kind of interpreting.
So those 4 bonus points were just spent here.
Yeah, sure, totally. Yeah, that makes it. You do sort of like see the flow of things and just like I said, like direct people and find it kind of natural. See that people just work better together in certain ways, and that helps. What's anybody else doing to prepare for this after party?
Oh, I'm making set stuff. I'm like knitting the curtains.
And then you're also going to use your illusion magic to zhuzh it
Yeah.
up when
Yeah,
it's
I'm gonna
done.
be like doing spotlights and like glitter.
Okay. How about Ularn and Dr. Christopher? What's your preparations here?
I will probably compose a list of questions for Erlon so
Okay.
that he has like a fallback list. And I would like to use a couple of my powers
Sure.
just before everything happens on the King Knight.
Oh,
I
okay.
would like to use modulate,
What does that do?
and modulate alters the nature and intensity of a creature's physical sensations for up to an hour,
Okay.
and relieve. So I say something comforting to relieve him of anxiety, pain, and discomfort.
And is that sort of like, something that is obvious that you're doing? I don't mean it like in a threatening way, but like.
Yes, it's fairly obvious. I basically want to have him like in such a state that he is super relaxed and just taking it all in and enjoying himself way more than he would otherwise.
Make a roll.
Okay.
I mean, you'll succeed at those things. I just want to see.
I got a 10, which is a tough choice.
So as you're sort of doing your doctor things, like he sort of starts confiding in you, and so your tough choice is if you want to listen to him or not.
I will listen to him.
He's just sort of like feeling all relaxed, and he's just like, this is a real burden being the future king of kings.
Yeah, sometimes it's less of a burden when we don't try to put on a show for other people.
It's like, you don't know what it's like. He's like, I've got Crystal King breathing down my neck, and all these knights and lords and ladies expecting all these things. It's like, somebody's got to take charge around here. The old King of Kings just withered away.
I'm going to tell you a thing. If you have to tell people that you're in charge, you're not actually in charge.
Oh, well, it's the ancient laws of Gartania that put me in charge. Don't get me wrong.
So
I
then
deserve to
why
rule.
are you unconfident?
It's like, this armor may look like I'm just totally ripped and magnificent, which I am, but it's just armor. And he's like, inside, I'm just a regular knight. He's like, but I'm a king knight. That's how I was born to be king. He's like, and he sort of like points out at the tourney out there, and he's like, you think if I couldn't best obsidian knight? And he points over, and you see like this big, huge knight that just has like a broken chunk of obsidian glass for a head and like a big black cloak, like a giant sword, just like his, just in the dueling rings. Not killing each other, but he's just like handily defeating people. And he's like, and if I couldn't, if I wasn't more accurate than Flint Knight, and you see like a guy that has like flint tipped arrows, and he just strikes them on his head for flair, and they light up, and he shoots them, and just pointing out these things. He's like, do you think people would respect me? It's like, I mean, they have their things. All I have is being king. He's like, I was born with this armored crown on my head.
You were, but the best kings are those who lift others up as opposed to pushing them down. Maybe instead of always trying to prove that you're the best at everything, you could praise other people for being the best at their one thing. And your praise would be enough to validate your station, because you wouldn't need to remind anyone, and maybe let everyone feel more special.
Are you saying that a king's best quality of being a king is lifting other people up and not being just the best at all the things that everybody else does?
I'm saying that that's what the best kings do.
Wow.
You have to choose what kind of a king you're going to be. And honey, let me tell you right now, you're struggling.
He's like, well, I intend to be the best king, and when you're done, you can tell that your words sort of like, I might not have immediately changed in him, but it's like they made an impact.
Okay, cool.
He had never thought about those things. I mean, he was just born with a crown helm, so that's what his job is, to be they just thought that it meant being the best at everything.
Yep.
That's cool. Right. And then
I leave him,
what's it?
Before I leave him, I'll just leave him with, look, a leader without any followers is just a person standing alone. And a king who doesn't have subjects to uplift is just a man with a pointy metal hat, even if he's born with it on his head.
Nice. All right, and then what is Ularn doing? And he's got to host this thing. Is he doing any prep work? Is he nervous or?
He's very nervous. This is his normal thing. So he's trying to come up with his questions. He's also like in order to kind of relax himself, he just kind of falls into like checking the security, working with the security detail, and talking to people in order to. Really, he knows like he doesn't need to do it, but he's doing it just as like to calm his nerves because it's familiar to him. And like while he's doing that, he's going over in his head like the questions that he's going to have to ask the contestants.
Okay. So as that time nears, and the sun has gone down and all the tourney stuff has gone, and in this main tent is all the known lords and ladies, and you see a lot of the people that you've met and some that you don't know yet. Circus, at one point, you hear a little whisper coming from your pocket. Do you open it to see? Robin?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's the pocket witch is in there, and she's like, "Hey, let me peek out of there." Open your packet, and it's like her head sort of like pops out of your pocket. Then nobody else really notices, but she's like looking around, like, "Pretty nice. You guys handled everything pretty. It was pretty fun watching. What do you think will happen at this perfect match you've cooked up?"
Oh, I have no idea. And honestly, I really don't care as long as we get what's her face out of her arrangement.
My sister?
Your sister.
Yeah, I wish. I actually, Doug forgot to, but also Pakovich I don't think you spoke with her. What was Starlight Knight going to do? Just not, you didn't have any immediate plans? I don't remember.
Well, I imagine that she's running away with Lunar Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Didn't they
Okay,
both
same.
interest in each other?
It's like, hey, make sure I get a good packet by the front. You're in charge of this, right?
Well, I'm going to be side stage pulling a little bit of magic, so you'll be closer than anybody in the audience.
She's like, hey, turn around for a second.
And
you're gonna let her stay in your packet?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't catch that. Yeah, she's like, oh, all right. So yeah, it's not too long before you see all the knights are set up, and however the stage you want to set up has been set up. And King Knight is probably like, well, you can describe it. I have no idea what you guys intend. This is all cooked up sort of. How do you want to do this? What does it look like? Everybody's quiet down, and there's all the lords and ladies and knights are seated there looking.
So I imagine like you have the steps up, and then you have a kind of a partition down the center, and like so like the audience can kind of see like both sides,
Right.
But and then like the one side will have two partitions, so there's like 3 cubicles almost, where like each of those lady knights will be able to look out upon the audience and talk, but they won't see each other or the king.
Okay,
And,
so the contestants, I forget, they don't know who the other contestants are.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we make sure that we've told everyone, the audience, like not to interfere or try to allude to who is who up there, because it's it's all part and parcel of the game, and you don't want to ruin that.
No,
They very much like this. It's very fun to them.
Yeah. We very much encourage to call them by their numbers, and each cubicle will have a number, so they can scream out like Bachelorette 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
I like wove the numbers into the curtain.
Also,
nice, yes.
yeah, and also like as we build it up, and maybe people kind of get interested, like what's going on. I want to go out into the crowd and start trying to hype them.
Yeah.
And different portions of the crowd, I want to hype them for the different contestants, so that there'll be a little bit of a like rivalry in the crowd. Try and sell them to each of them,
like how they do at medieval times.
Yeah.
So like sections. Okay, that's awesome.
Uralu tried to convince Searcast to use a different numbering system as opposed to just boring 1, 2, 3, but he was absolutely voted down. It would be too confusing to the viewers and possibly to the contestants as well.
Like some sort of color coded thing. And throughout all this hustle and bustle, and especially because of what's it called, Yelp?
Yup, yeah.
You're very aware of everybody coming in, going. You're sort of like the production manager. I'm picturing you sort of fell into that role. You
Because of the
notice
plan.
their camp night is not to be seen anywhere.
Okay. Well, no worries.
No worries.
I was just letting you know.
I mean, it's certainly a frustrating thing, but
Yep.
a problem for another day.
Right. Even Night is there, who is there with his long cap and stripy pajamas and just sort of hunched over. His specialty is sleeping, but his parents woke him up and demanded that he attend. But he's
Wow.
sort of, just nodding off in the front row.
Get that
I
man
had
some
to get
coffee.
that.
Where's Coffee Night?
That'd be Kettle Knight Senior, who I think that is his dad. So yeah, he would probably be sitting with them, and he's just pouring a cup of
Oh
coffee.
my god.
Of course it is. Of course.
Kettle Knight Senior is to coffee what Kettle Knight Junior is to tea.
I'm just picturing that scene from Shrek when they have Sleeping Beauty step out of the carriage and she flops down.
Yeah. Night's got the little candle and the
Oh
finger
god.
holder. Okay, so eventually you get your bachelorettes arranged. How do you guys want to do it? I mean, I don't think you actually had questions, or did you?
I certainly don't.
Not yet. I was actually hoping that we would stall long enough that we start with this next week.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
Sure, yeah. Let's do that.
Because I would really like to come up with questions.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Let's see. I mean, there is the whole rest of the day.
Oh my god. I was not actually thinking that we were going to.
Oh yeah, we
I'm
are.
into it. I had no idea. I thought you guys maybe talked.
Doug is going to totally romance himself next week.
Listen, we are so in this.
You guys have to romance me. Make me fall in love with you. That's your job. So, was there anything else that you guys wanted to do? I mean, I guess we can wrap up a little. It's not too bad. But we can still play if there's other things. We don't have to be at that point where it's about to start.
So I mean, if we've got a little bit of time to kill,
Sure.
obviously Botany Night is getting ready, but I could ask, Butcher Night, if Camp Night ever came back, or if, was he still out giant fighting?
Butcher Knight's real me. He's just like, no, I'm really worried, actually. I mean, it's not unheard of for him to go questing, but this is a big deal going on, and he said he'd be back, and he wasn't.
Does Camp Night have any other confidants?
Let's see. Camp Night. He has several. His dad. Oh yeah, that's right. Here it is. His parents are Lord Thimble and Lord Tusk. They are both sitting together here as well. Lord Thimble has a big thimble for a head and is very good at sewing and seamstress. Lord Tusk is weird. He's sort of like a walrus knight. I mean, he has like big tusks in his thing, and he's got sort of like flipper hands and like just a big bulbous body. But they're just sort of like holding hands. And actually, Butcher Knight tells you that like they actually kind of embarrass him with their like PDA often.
Okay.
So,
Well, at a romance game show, not a problem. So.
Oh yeah, they would be. Yeah, that's true. They would be totally like, excited about this.
So I would inquire from them if they had heard from their son.
They're like, oh no, he's probably off doing one of his quests again. He never shows up to family events or anything.
Well, I mean,
all about the quest for that one.
I had heard that he wants to actually see true love, and we're possibly
he's certainly not going to find it out there in the filthy wilderness with giants.
But
we've been trying to find a girlfriend or mate for somebody for him for years. Yeah. Ever since he found Excalibur, he's all he certainly doesn't care about settling down now.
I mean, maybe he's chasing giants for a reason. Has he ever met Lady Dam?
Oh yes, I mean we posted them at our keep. Her and Lady Waterfall is their wife, I think.
Oh, okay. She's married. Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, the Lady Well.
He's like, maybe one of the losers from tonight will be a match for our little campy. And they're sort of like, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful?
All right. Well, you know, I'll, you know, we don't have to do it on camera, but, you know, I'll inquire a little bit more and try to, again, gather whatever information I can about camp night, because this dude's got the thing and I need a trade. I need something.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else interested in? Oh, sure.
I want to talk to Sirkos for a minute
Okay.
before the show.
Boy, Lee's
Alright.
gonna be bummed that she can't attend this thing.
Sirkos.
Yes.
Oh, word, honey. I know we've been very busy with everything, but I just wanted to check in and make sure that you're okay. Because over the course of the past week or so, you found out you lost your memories. We ran into 2 of your lost comrades. We haven't yet figured out what happened to that 3rd one, or the 4th, for that matter. And
Mhm.
Or his
it's
familiar.
been a lot, and I'm not one to judge, and I'm certainly not one to presume. But if it were most people, they'd be troubled and have some stuff going on with them, given everything that's happening. And I just want you to know that I respect if you don't want to talk about it, but if you do, I'm here.
I appreciate that, but honestly, after we found out what happened to Five Hands Stan, I am a little bit less concerned about the others. And I know that sounds terrible to warm-blooded creatures. Mostly call it a professional curiosity. I'm going to be okay.
Okay.
Mostly I'm just concerned that the memories that I'm missing are going to bite me in the arse later.
I mean, fair. Your companions, though, Augustus, I think Urulu said his name was, and Nub,
Nub.
Nub,
Oh, that's
They-
right, Nub Nub.
they just, I don't know. It seems like they were an awfully big part of your life for a while,
They were.
and now they're just not. And I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
Fairly at peace with that for the moment. I am curious as to what happened to them, but it's not like killing me on the inside.
Okay. Well, if that ever changes, or if you ever just need a listening ear, I'm open. That's all.
I very much appreciate that.
So, yeah. And frankly speaking, I think I'll have a little more spare time now that I won't be able to go into my house as often because Erlam will be borrowing my key more.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
Lee
I'm-
would totally be bummed that they can't attend. I like Lee. Let's see. Is anybody else of note that you guys?
Is Rachel Raygun here?
Rachel Ray. No, but I do have note that they're not on Gartania, but they may be elsewhere.
Does Christopher's monsters ever leave the house?
I don't think they can, as I always imagined. So
It's up to the
probably we
god.
never. Can they? I was just imagine it was, you know, they're just sort of flavor there.
It turns out they're all cosmic criminals, and Christopher is a warden. Actually, he's the nicest warden ever, but they're all been imprisoned for heinous crimes.
I kind of took it as like they are monsters that would probably be like hunted and stuff if they were out. So he kind of like takes care of them. It's like, well, they live here and nobody's like gonna, you know.
It's like the horror version of Foster's Home.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
it's like a home for wayward. They would just say home for wayward monsters.
It's like if you took Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and the Addams Family and mashed them together, and then
There you
put Jonathan Van Ness in charge.
I feel like that one of those references Doug may not get. I know it because I had small kids.
I didn't, but I just figured. I filled in the blank.
It was a really good show.
Doug, it is a very good show. I would highly advise going back and at least watching a little bit of it.
Oh, yes.
So, well, I guess I can describe some of the other nights in attendance if you might be your
Yeah, how packed is the tent?
Oh, there's like dozens, probably like 100. Well, they have attendance too. There's probably over 100.
Yeah, I
There's
absolutely did go watch Obsidian Knight in the melee. If you want to tell me how he did.
Oh yeah, Obsidian Knight is like an imposing warrior. Let's see if there's anything about him. He uses a big obsidian spear. Obsidian Knight is the warden of the outer plains and mountains, and is just sort of like a stoic. He's sort of like Ned Starkey. It's just like his area is kind of harsh and stuff, so he's just sort of like a practical person. But he is unmarried. He's a Lunar Knight and Crow Knight's brother. So they're all siblings.
Oh, I didn't realize that Lunar Knight was related to them.
Yeah, when Crow Knight was saying that her brother's
Yeah, okay. I thought she was talking about Obsidian Knight. I didn't realize I hadn't made the connection. That's actually pretty cool.
I spent a lot of time memorizing all these things or trying to. So
Now,
I'm gonna use them, damn it.
Is the tournament ended now, or is it still
For
going?
the day? No, it goes. It's just for the day.
So, I guess through further conversation with Butcher Knight, is there any way that I could try and gain their confidence and find out, okay, yes, he wants to find love, but are people pushing in a direction that he might not be comfortable with?
You get the sense that he just is all about the quest. Like he just never even. It's like that sort of is his quest, and
okay.
Other people aren't going to help him find it. He just feels like it's out there. And
is there anyone else that has that adventurous spirit?
Oh, of our bachelorettes or bachelors?
Yeah, either or.
I'll get back to you on that, but yeah, for sure. There's
All
tons of these guys, man. I would love to. Well, let's see. Quack Knight is also, in addition to the bachelorettes, Quack Knight, who you see in attendance and is like a duck, has like a big duck bill knight and like feathery.
Sir
armor.
Quackers.
Is she a doctor too?
Sir Quackers was the duck that Dave found waddling outside of my house this week.
But yeah, I'll get back to you with that. Yeah, Butcher Knight's mostly just where he actually is torn too, because he wants to go look for Butcher Knight, but his siblings and him just got that big commission because he is related to all the, I forgot their names, like Bread Knight and Lady Leather's family. So
Sure.
he's like, if you're gonna go look for Camp Knight, Clyde will go with you. He can pick up his trail. He knows what Camp Knight's campsite smells like. Oh, that was a lot of
Camp Knight's campsite.
smells like. And Clyde's just sort of like. But yeah, he's like, Clyde, do you want to go find Camp Knight with this nice man? And Clyde's just like, arr, arr. Very happy. He will go with you. If that's what you intend, for sure.
All right. Well, it sounds like we've got a game show and then possibly a manhunt.
Yeah, I love it. All right.
Nice.
Well, if there's nothing else, I mean, it's only 5 minutes. I don't feel.
This is a good stopping spot for next time. We'll come prepared with our questions.
Okay.
And possibly a surprise for people watching. I've got an idea you need to run by the rest of the crew. But with that, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for running our guide, Nerditor Doug. And
Thanks for
until next
playing.
time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy.